The word is out from several corners of the political blogosphere. Democrats everywhere are in a panic. The coronation's been put on hold. The possibility exists that come January 2016, there will be no long flowing gowns and placing of the American Queen's crown on the head of Hillary Clinton. What will we do, America? Calm yourself. Seek solace in the fact we're here to bring sanity and introspection to such piffle. Welcome back to The Hardline. Veteran political analyst, co-author of the must-read Power Grab, Obama's Dangerous Plan for a One-Party Nation, Dick Morris. Dick, I read it this week, the last couple of days. Again, I went back and looked at it again. Democrats in a panic mode. Seriously, are we, real panic here right now?
Well, I think that it's approaching panic. I mean, look, if you're a senator up for re-election, and about half of the incumbents who are up are Democrats, a little bit less, even if you're expecting a cruise to re-election, if the top of your ticket is going to bomb, you're desperate, you're panicked. I mean, it's not like they have a large bench waiting to step in and take over. If Hillary falters, they have a 70-something-year-old Bernie Sanders, and then they have an old, worn-out Joe Biden and an Elizabeth Warren that won't get into the race and probably is too liberal if she does. So what do they have? And this lack of a bench is very bad when your starter has arm trouble and back trouble and leg trouble, and it looks like they're headed for the DL.
Is there anyone, in your opinion, now you just mentioned, of course, a lot of the older people who are sitting on the bench, but if indeed Hillary Clinton falters, Bernie Sanders falters, whatever, is there anything that comes close to a young Democrat that could emerge and could be a problem, or simply put, are they just not there right now?
Well, I think they're so far from they're not in the on-deck circle. If you use the metaphor, they're not even in the dugout. In fact, they're not even in the town where the game's being played. It would be a large stretch. Duval Patrick, the former governor of Massachusetts, Sherrod Brown, a relatively young senator from Ohio, a very radical one. You have a few that are on the wings. Claire McCaskill might, who knows? But they're very far from front line, and it would take a real surgeon to bring them forth. The other problem is that Hillary won't die easily. The lesson of 2008 makes that clear. When months after it was clear she was going to lose the nomination, she still ran, and Obama at one point said, "When will this woman go home?" And I think that that's a question everybody's going to be asking. And until she actually gets rid of her delegates and says, "I'm finished," and steps out, you can't move on.
All right, so let's look at two things then with Hillary Clinton. In your opinion, one, do you think that it will ever get to the point where the DNC, somebody in power, will quietly say to Mrs. Clinton, "It's time for you to go, we can't live with this anymore"? And two, if indeed something like that happens, do you think she would listen, or basically just put her nose up in the air and say, "I'm a Clinton, I'm not listening to you, we're moving forward"?
Yeah, number two, no quiet persuasion is going to work. What will work is if she gets indicted. And we have to understand that while normally when you have a corruption scandal, it's kind of broad discretion for the prosecutor. In fact, there's even a policy they don't bring indictments within a year of an election, so they don't influence the political outcome. But here it's not very discretionary. The military and the national security industry complex moves deliberately, aggressively to protect its secrets and to enforce the ground rules that underlie them. It's like military justice is to justice as military music is to music. And while it's not officially a court-martial, it's a very different procedure and a very different set of characters than you'd have in a normal civil or even criminal litigation. And they almost have to, at some point, indict her because they've indicted so many others of comparable rank, Petraeus, Sandy Berger, Deutsch, head of the CIA, that they almost have to. And the problem is that until this actually is front and center, Hillary's not going to recognize it. She's not going to go home. And if the Democrats are waiting for Hillary to pull out, it'll be a long, long wait.
Dick, I got about 30 seconds left here. If indeed the Clinton campaign finds a scapegoat, somebody they say, wait a minute, it's her fault, it's his fault, this is where it all happened. Even if they do that, do you think that will take any of the heat off her whatsoever? Do you think that will satisfy anybody?
No, because she set up her own server, and she's the official who's ultimately responsible. Her only argument can sort of be it wasn't labeled classified. Who's in charge of labeling it classified? Well, you are. So I don't think that's going to work well.
It's not going to work at all. But you got to admit, though, there's people out there going, "Hey, come on, we can find a scapegoat and we can get out of this." The answer would be, no, you can't. We're already past that point.
As Pogo once said, we have seen the enemy, and it is us.
And it is us, no doubt about it. You want to learn more about the enemy? Go grab a copy of Power Grab, Obama's dangerous plan for a one-party nation. It will set you up for everything that's coming in 2016 and give you a lot of insight into what's going on right now. Dick Morris, always a pleasure, my friend. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you, Ed.
All right, stay with us. The fastest 60 minutes in news continues.